The following program may contain subject matter and language suitable for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
And welcome back to another great show, another exciting episode of The Meltdown. He's Jeff.
And he's Norm.
And good for you. And today, that's kind of become a tradition.
Yeah.
Right?
You trying to trick me?
Yeah, I'm trying to, see if you're paying attention.
I'm listening. I'm paying attention.
I know. And that's what the show's all about today, is about traditions. And we're going to be taking a look at some traditions from around the world. Lou Saracino will be here with another Meltdown Minute. And then we're going to look at some maybe not so, pretty fucked up traditions. And some weird family things that people have just started doing and kept doing. And, we're going to have some fun with that. But let's kick off the way we always do with some Meltdown fun facts. Are you ready, Jeff?
I am ready, Norm.
Okay. Here are some customs and traditions from around the world. In Greece, a child's tooth is thrown onto the roof for good luck. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Okay, so when in Greece.
I mean, it must be tough to get it up there, but hey, worth the effort.
Austria. If you've heard of Krampus Night, it's celebrated in Austria on December 5th. Krampus is described as Santa Claus's evil twin brother. Yes.
Well, he deserves his day as well.
Yeah, I don't know if he actually brings gifts. He might just visit your house and set your wooden leg on fire.
Or steal a tooth from the roof.
Yeah, roof tooth. Okay, in Indonesia, a person points with their thumb, and it's considered very rude to point with a forefinger.
Wow.
Did you know that? So if you're in Indonesia, you point like this or that,
Not
but
like that.
that's right, because you'll be... That's right.
I've got it straight.
Okay. When are you going to Indonesia next?
I don't have any trip planned, but
Okay.
I know on my flight to Indonesia, whenever that happens, I'll be doing this. I'll be practicing. Yes, the lavatory is that way. Rear of the plane, I'll be pointing like that just to practice.
You'll probably forget about it completely.
Yeah, I'll probably do this, and then it'll be a national scandal.
Oh, well, I'm sure you'll survive. Japanese children cover their belly button when they hear thunder.
Oh.
I don't know why, but that's a very interesting tradition.
Right where thunder, lightning gets to.
But it does actually kind of, sometimes you feel this thing in the pit of your stomach, eh? Here's one. In Brazil, New Year's Day is celebrated with a bowl of lentil soup, as the lentil is considered a symbol of wealth.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a neat tradition.
It is.
Right?
Lentil soup is good.
Here we go. A Norwegian bride traditionally wears a silver crown with dangling charms to ward off evil spirits. Did you know that?
No, but that is interesting.
Ever wondered what a traditional Christmas Day meal in Latvia was?
No, I didn't.
Well, Jeff, listen to this. A traditional Christmas Day meal in Latvia consists of cooked brown peas with pork sauce and cabbage.
What if you're a vegan, such as me?
Probably just the cabbage then.
All right.
Yeah, because you couldn't have the veal or the pork sauce, right?
But I
you
can
could have
point
the
with my
cabbage.
finger, right? Because that's
in Latvia, yes. Point with your finger all you want.
I got this straight.
In Russia, Father Frost brings presents for the children on New Year's Day. So I don't think there's any Santa Claus in Russia. It's Father Frost.
Father Frost.
That's pretty cool. Here's another tradition from around the world. Gold and silver coins are placed inside a bride's wedding shoes in Sweden.
That makes sense.
Yeah. They wouldn't let that happen in North America. There's no woman alive getting married that would say, oh, go ahead and put something in my shoes. There's no way. Like, even if it was tradition or not, I don't think they'd let it happen. Okay, and our last tradition from around the world. At a Caribbean wedding ceremony, the groom never has a best man.
Oh.
Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Okay, I didn't know it either. Pretty weird. And that's it for our world traditions. Didn't want to spend too much time on that because we have a ton of stupid traditions. But first, let's go to a Meltdown Minute with Lou.
This show is all about traditions. Traditions are important. I think, like religion, they give you a certain guideline to follow, and I think that's good. Although I do have issue with people who are so dead set on those traditions, not adapting and changing with the world as we move along, right? At some point, it was okay to get a virgin and throw her into a volcano to sacrifice her to the volcano god. It's probably good that we move past that, is what I'm saying, right? I'll give you another example. Every Christmas, my mom would get very excited because she would build a manger. So my dad built her 6x6, 4x4. It's almost an actual manger. And then she'd put so many things in it, Jesus is there and everything else, but there's all this room. So she's now throwing in whatever dolls that we had from a kid. So Garfield now is at the nativity. It's very odd. And the amount of lights that she uses so much lighting that when she turns them on, because it's a big cartoon switch like that, when she turns it on, there's a guy in Canada who's trying to make toast who's really pissed off because his lights are dim. Use a lot of power.
Thank you, Lou. And now for some Meltdown stupidness. So we're going to do this in two parts. We've got strange customs and traditions from around the world. So these are ones that, these have been going on for years and years, and you may not understand them, but I think in each culture they make sense, right? Just like our traditions here. And then we're going to be moving on to something else. But let's begin with strange customs and traditions from around the world. From the Czech Republic. On Easter Monday, men go from house to house, lightly whipping the women with braided willow branches called ponlazaka to apparently imbue them with fertility.
That seems to be there'd be a better way of imbuing a woman with fertility.
Yes. Here we go. From the UK. Magpies are ill omens in British folklore. It's one for sorrow, two for mirth, according to the old Lincolnshire nursery rhyme. That's why in many parts of the UK, if you see a single magpie, you can mitigate the bad luck it brings by greeting it with the salutation, "Good morning, Mr. Magpie, and how is your lady wife today?"
Oh, that's so sweet.
Isn't that sweet?
Yes.
Have you ever seen that happen? Have you ever been to England?
No.
Well, then
but,
you'd never see it happen.
Yeah, but that's something like P.L. Travers would have written.
Okay, have you heard of that tradition before?
Yeah, it sort of
eh?
it sort of sparks a bit of memory in me. So yeah, I'm sure I've heard of it.
And it would be kind of interesting to see that. My daughter did some traveling in England. I should ask her if she's ever come across that.
Yeah.
All right, here's another strange custom from around the world, from Austria. In Austria, Fingerhäkeln, or competitive finger pulling, is a serious sport with very strict rules. Finger athletes aim to drag their opponent across the table by just the finger. Fingerhäkeln is also played in Bavaria and Germany. So there you go, finger pulling.
Wow, you can tell if somebody's an ultimate fighter because they have the cauliflower ears. Well, with this, people with very long fingers have been involved in that particular sport you just described. Like really, really long, 20-inch fingers.
Crazy fingers. All right, from Denmark. If by the time you turn 25, you're unmarried, you can expect your friends to ambush you with a cinnamon shower all day.
Wow.
That's bad enough, but if you're still single at 30, they cover you in pepper.
Wow.
So I guess that's what, incentive to find someone?
What if you just don't want a mate? You like being single. You're happy with that. I mean,
Fine. I'll take the cinnamon and the pepper, whatever. But I'm not interested. Yeah. All right, from France. The 25th of November is St. Catherine's Day in France, and all unmarried 25-year-old women, or Catherinettes, are given elaborate green and yellow hats, which they must wear all day.
Wow.
Now that seems to be a bit more reasonable, even though it's just as stupid, but it's, at least you don't get cinnamon in your eyes, right?
No.
I imagine that burns.
Probably.
From Germany, if you reach 25 without getting married in Germany, your friends will string a garland of socks from your house to the venue of your birthday, and every few socks, you'll be encouraged to have an alcoholic drink.
You're single, but we're getting you loaded.
Follow the socks. That's just weird. Okay.
From Mexico, at Mexican birthday parties, once the cake has been brought out and everyone has sung happy birthday, you're encouraged to take the first bite of your cake, at which someone will inevitably push your face into the icing, and you're not allowed to get angry because it's tradition.
I'm really angry right now, but I can't.
Boy, this cake is good. God
This
damn
cake
it.
is good.
All right, here's an interesting one, Jeff. You'll like this one.
Okay, I like them all.
Now you'll really like this one.
I really like this one.
From Japan, the festival of Kanamera Matsuri dates back to the 17th century. Revelers dress as penises, eat penis-shaped sweets, and create giant iron penises to carry throughout the streets of Kawasaki. It honors the legend of a woman who had a demonic-toothed vagina that ate men's penises, and it remained undefeated until a metal worker built a metal penis that broke the demon's teeth.
From Kawasaki, right? Kawasaki, let the good times roll.
Well, there you go.
If you might as well just get it all out in the open. Yes.
Yeah.
Just like bathhouses.
It's penis day.
No hiding anything in Japan. Good for them.
Yeah.
Just get it all out in the open. Why not?
Yeah. All right. Here's another strange custom from around the world. From China. Clocks, handkerchiefs, straw sandals, and flowers are all associated with death and funerals in China. Deemed inappropriate and morbid, you'll risk damaging the relationship if you present these gifts for any occasion to someone in China. So just know what not to give. From Venezuela, here's one place where being early or on time is viewed as being rude. In Venezuela, if you are invited over to someone's house for a meal, it's recommended that you arrive 10 to 15 minutes later than the requested time. Early or on-time guests are viewed as being too eager, even greedy. We're here. Where's the food? Huh? Yeah. Come on, it's 8 o'clock. Where's dinner?
Fashionably late.
Yeah. All right, so for the second part of messed up traditions, weird traditions, you call it what you want. So these are actual people who are talking about their own family traditions. Okay? Here's the first one. The aunts fight. I mean, like literally fight. They will get wasted and just get louder and louder, and then one will shout something along the lines of, "You want to back that up?" And then they will go outside and fight. We all watch and cheer for our favorite aunt to win, and sometimes we will even videotape the fights so that we can watch it later and laugh about it. It's pretty normal. I may have issue with that last sentence. But whatever. If it's your thing, it's your thing. Here's a tradition from someone else. Every year on Christmas, before we open anything, my dad used to make us do the Ninja Turtle dance. He would take lead, and my sister and I would have to do it behind him while my mom recorded it. Thinking back, I find it hilarious. So that's good. At least that's a good memory and not one that you go, what the fuck was I doing?
Did you have to do it for like an hour, though? Like,
I don't know. She didn't say.
All those gifts are right there.
Okay, here's another weird family tradition. My mother has always put a cow puppet on top of the Christmas tree instead of an angel. Okay. Yeah, well, whatever.
Well, cow puppets are cute as
Imagine
well.
going to someone else's house, though, at Christmas and going, what's that?
It's a Christmas cow puppet. What do you think?
No, I was thinking of the cow puppet person saying that to someone else with an angel. Like, what is that?
You're right.
But you know, it works both ways, Jeff. I'm not trying to discourage you from having your own opinions, which are sometimes weird. Do you have a brother or sister?
I have a brother.
Okay. So, you have a brother. I have a sister. Mm-hmm. So this is kind of here's a tradition between brother and sister.
Okay.
So it's more between my brother and I than our whole family. Whenever we'd eat at a fast food place, we would play the last fry. And it was just that. The one that ate the last fry won.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'd hide it for hours, then eat it and say, it tastes so good when it's the last fry. One time I put my fry in my backpack and found it a couple weeks later. Totally won that time. Here's another one. On long car rides, my older brother and I would play a game called Even. It would start with him punching me in the leg and whispering, "Even." Obviously, it was not even because I had not touched him. So I would get mad and punch him back, and it was never ending because it was never even. I remember once, though, my mom looked back and slapped us both in the face and said, even. My parents absolutely hated when we would play this game. Well, good for the parents to even that up. That's
now they
funny.
have TVs and DVDs. And
Yeah. But you know what? I still know people that play road games like that, and they're kind of fun. I don't like the punch buggy one, especially if you're driving. You got to keep your eyes on the road, and they happen to see one coming from somewhere else, and they smack you.
Punch your arm, and the wheel goes into the ditch. And,
it's dangerous.
I'll say.
There was one game that this is many years ago. My ex-in-laws used to play this game in the car where every time you saw what was it? Every time you drove, because they would go through country, you'd see a horse and say horse, horse, right? And everybody would keep, I guess, the number of horses they had. But then if somebody spotted a graveyard, they'd say bury your horses, and everybody had to lose their horses. So if you kept your horses, if you were the one that said bury your horses, you won the game.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
sounds like a fun game.
Yeah. I had a scratch there. That was my own leg I was scratching, by the way, just in case there's any confusion.
Yeah.
Even though Jeff had this look on his face like, oh.
No, I was happy that you weren't scratching my leg.
He was thinking about the penises again.
That's right. Yeah, my mind's in Japan right now. Huge penises everywhere.
Well, that's going on the trailer reel.
I mean, once I said it. Yeah.
Okay, here's another strange family tradition. My brother and I still throw imaginary poops into each other's mouths when either of us yawn. We are both in our 20s. That's a strange. Okay. Here's another one. Me and my siblings played longest fry. When you found a long one, you announced loudly, longest fry, which was an immediate challenge to everybody to produce their longest fry, and you won if yours was the longest. Hence the name Longest Fry.
I get it.
Yeah. So that's just
length is
interesting.
the theme of today.
These are fast food games or traditions, right? These are kind of weird. Here's another weird family tradition. When I was a kid, the aunts and uncles would get all the kids a gallon of their favorite ice cream on the 4th of July. They would sit us down at a table and give us all our ice cream at the same time. Here's the fun part. The first kid to tackle the entire gallon of ice cream got $5. This always led to all of us kids eating ice cream very quickly and thus getting brain freeze. Within minutes, there are a half dozen children roaming the backyard, clutching at their sinuses in pain, while the adults laugh at them. I'm so glad I finally caught on. That is kind of mean, eh? That's
$5 richer, but man.
Let's fuck up the children. Yeah.
Oh.
And if anyone's ever had that, you've had that. We've all had it. It's not fun. Like it literally just kills you for a bit.
Yeah, ice cream, which can be so pleasurable, and
Yeah,
it does. Yeah.
ice cream and gluttony do not mix. All right, here's another strange family tradition. Whenever any one of us has to take an exam, we take a single uncooked potato with us. This has been tradition ever since my grandpa found one in his pocket after acing his driver's test.
Well, if it worked, then it's...
I know, and according to this person, it works. But what is how things become traditions are really interesting. Like that's a perfect example of how something becomes a tradition. You know, our last strange family tradition. My brother and I both got a cake when we grew our first pube. Didn't think it was too weird at the time, just wanted a cake.
So you're just going one at a time?
No, your first pube. Now, I don't know about your family. My family, we did not have a situation where I got up in the morning and looked around and then ran up, pulling my pants, saying, "Hey, look, I got my first pube." I just don't, you know what, we didn't do that. I don't know how you'd find out.
My family didn't talk about stuff like that at all.
Yeah, no.
I had to learn about it all by myself.
That's right, yep. And nowadays, you have the internet to help. Then you'll learn quite a bit. It'll all be messed up, but you'll learn it. So did you have any weird family traditions? Like, do you have anything that's kind of strange that you do?
Not really. Maybe a lot of farting.
Okay, well, that's not really tradition. That's just a bodily function, Jeff.
I think one side of my family they'd sit around and speak poorly of other relatives that weren't there. That was a LaFave family tradition.
No, that's just normal family stuff.
Yeah,
that's
I can't. No, I don't think there was any. I remember one day at the LaFave family cottage, we decided to make about 1,000 pancakes.
Okay.
And I think it was my aunt, maybe it was my mother, who actually is a very good cook. One of my aunts, who's probably also, but she's an okay cook. Her husband actually is a chef, at least has chef training. Anyways, one day I guess we decided we were making all these pancakes that we were going to start playing frisbees with them. So we're out in the backyard of the cottage and we're throwing all these pancakes around. But that didn't become a tradition. It wasn't like the annual LaFave frisbee pancake toss. But I remember that just broke out in some really mad frisbee game. Like we weren't even like playing like ultimate. It wasn't.
But is this something that you do like every year?
I wish we had. Now that I think back on it.
See, that's what a tradition is.
I know.
It's not. This is what we're talking about. It's not just something you did once. Hey, I killed a guy once. But okay, but do you kill a guy every year? No.
I couldn't think of any family traditions on either side of my family.
Well, let me think of one.
So I was thinking
Jeff's losing the point of what. One time we all got naked and sang "Hills Are Alive" in the middle of a. Yeah, did you? So that became a tradition? No, just the one time. Anyway, okay, so my family at Christmas time, because some of us can play musical instruments. Everyone can play something, right? Sometimes my mom would play the kazoo or a cowbell one year. I'd play guitar or bass. My brother-in-law would play guitar or violin, and my sister would play guitar or tambourine or something, and we'd all sit around. And we actually did this so we did this repeatedly, over and over again. At Christmas time at my sister's house, it became a tradition to not only play music, and sometimes it sounded good, sometimes it didn't. But the weird thing is, we called ourselves the Kelly family. Of course, our last name was Burketta and Richie, but we called ourselves the Kellys. One year, I even designed an album cover. Kellys. It was just a weird thing, but it was an actual tradition because it happened more than once.
Actually, come to think of it, I do have a very similar family tradition,
which happened more than once. Okay, Jeff, let's hear it.
My mother's side of the family, the Marcellus family.
Yeah.
This isn't actually terribly funny, but very interesting because. My mother's father, so obviously my grandfather, all of his brothers, etc.
Yeah.
They all knew how to play a musical instrument. We're going back to the days, early 1900s, late 1800s. You had to provide your own entertainment. You had to provide your own music. Radio wasn't even invented, and even if radio was on, a lot of times it wasn't music. I mean, it was entertaining. There was news. There was radio plays. There was some music, obviously. So you had to learn how to play a musical instrument. So my mother's family, not so much her generation, but the generation before that, they all knew how to play a musical instrument. I always wish I could go back in time and hang out with them and see my grandfather play whatever he played. I don't know what instrument he played, but so there's a family tradition. It happened more than once. There you go.
That's it.
I think the pancake story is pretty darn funny, though. You should have been there. We're all getting hit in the head with pancakes.
No, I think that'd be great.
I wish it did turn into a family tradition. Oh, well.
Yeah. Oh, well, you know what? Maybe next year. Maybe you can suggest it next year or something.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Well, that's it for traditions. And we just want to review that a tradition is something that happens more than once and quite often. So as is tradition, we will be back again next week with another episode of The Meltdown.
With flying pancakes, no less.
So until then, keep all your house one color and we'll see you. Cheers.
Bye.